can be erased. I never learned to know myself, and I was afraid. Right now I need to heal myself well, just like a brook that runs so deep. I spent my life just being asleep. It takes enlightenism to know that what you learn is toxic. It takes enlightenism to know that you can learn toxic. Oh, folks, I love to hear Brother Carl sing that song. That's our theme song, Enlightenism. Ah, just love it. The brother has a powerful voice. And every time I hear him sing the song, it just lights me up to get started with our exciting broadcast today. Spiritual freedom is what this broadcast is about. And spiritual freedom is possible with Enlightenism. Enlightenism is a new way to think and live. It's a philosophy that I created to discover for myself, is God really in me or in the sky? I'm just getting started here. I'm going to bring Sister Carolyn in to get us going, and I'll be right back. As soon as she finishes with her presentation, I'll be right back. Here's Sister Carolyn. Welcome her. She's a practitioner. She's an Enlightenism practitioner, and she works in consciousness. She has a wealth of experience in consciousness and powers of the mind. Here's Sister Carolyn.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Sister Carolyn.
Thank you, Brother Malcolm.
Right on.
Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to the Enlightenism Spiritual Freedom broadcast. This broadcast is all about trusting the self. This broadcast is knowing that you were born whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless, and have everything that you will ever need for the journey. Now, we call this spiritual freedom because all too often in our lives we don't have a sense of what that means. And if your spirituality and your power is somewhere else, then you don't trust the self. You trust what others have taught you about this power. Enlightenism talks about the power that you were born with. It talks about this power that is within you. And the idea of Enlightenism is to trust yourself. As the song says that I wrote, and Brother Carl sings the song so happily, we did the song together. And after the words were written down, it was a place of feeling, of understanding that we've never learned to trust ourselves. And we thought we needed to depend on someone else. And the idea is to cut down the confusion, to cut down the anger, and to understand that you have everything that you will ever need for the journey. And when we know this, we understand that we are responsible for our living. That there is no person or thing that judges us. We simply do that to ourselves. And the idea for me was to come out of victim consciousness, was to understand that there was a place within me that was whole, perfect, and complete, and had not been touched by anyone else. And only I could touch that power that was within me. And the idea of this broadcast is for you to know absolutely that. When you run into confusion, when you run into anger, You are running into the beliefs and practices that you've had over the years. And the idea of understanding the power is to understand that you have given yourself permission to be a victim. And so when we understand the power, we understand that we have the power to change our life, and we have the power to heal our life. And that's why this broadcast is on the air. Brother Malcolm and I not only practice this when we are doing the broadcast, but it is a daily and a moment-to-moment practice. Do we ever have issues? Absolutely. It's the old behavior coming up, trying to rear its head in our life. But when you understand that not just you were born whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless, then you don't go for the juggler to hurt or to be right. You go for what you know is the truth about you, and that you're simply debating some issues that were brought into your life and accepted by you to create the confusion. And when you understand that you create the confusion in your life, then you understand that only you can unlearn what you've created. As an Enlightenism teacher and a consciousness practitioner, my work is everywhere I go. Whether I'm talking to my adult sons, my daughter-in-laws, my grandson, I understand my awareness of being is what I take with me everywhere I go. This is the practice of Enlightenism. Being who you are. And our consciousness from our responses relays to us who we are. And the idea of this broadcast is to get clear and understand that Enlightenism is an inside job. The books that Brother Malcolm has written, this broadcast that we've created, is all a part of the healing that we speak of in our life. The idea of Enlightenism is to know who and what you are in all areas of your life. Your responses tell you who you are. If you don't like your responses, then you know the responsibility is for you to change and unlearn so that you can heal your life. And I know that what we've learned and accepted from others, from well-meaning others, that we have taken this into our belief system. And so when we respond to our children in a way that doesn't promote the consciousness and doesn't promote the compassion and the love that we say that we're about, it's time to do the Enlightenism homework and understand that you are responsible for what you bring into your world, for what you produce in your life. And when you get about that, then you understand with the principles of Enlightenism that you can truly be free in your living. And the idea always is to trust yourself and to understand who you are in your living. So often, as I walk this plane of life, I am reminded by things that I see, things that I hear, that I don't have to bring those things into my life anymore, because I am producing a greater understanding of myself, a greater response. Do I do that every single second of the day? No, I don't. But when I am not doing that, I understand the question that Enlightenism asks: who are you aware of being? This broadcast is about trusting yourself. This broadcast is about learning those old behaviors that you no longer need on this journey of Enlightenism. And now I give you author, speaker, and creator of Enlightenism, Brother Malcolm.
Well, thank you so much, Sister Carolyn. I'm back. Great message, great insights. I want to thank you for getting us started today on a wonderful Sunday morning.
It's always wonderful.
Always wonderful. Always wonderful. Okay, folks, I'm going to share a few words with you now. Sister Carolyn got us started. I'm Brother Malcolm. Sharing insights about Enlightenism, my favorite subject, the philosophy of change, spiritual freedom, the discovery of the power within you that's greater than you, greater than the beliefs that you have received from other people. That's fact. Everything we've been taught, folks, came from someone else who made it up. And then they try to convince us, persuade us that it's the truth. They use all types of logic and reasoning to tell you, this is why you're a victim. This is why you're powerless. This is why I'm successful. And when you discover the greatness in you, then you will understand that everything that you have been taught about yourself and others was made up. Made up by someone else. Someone else is telling you how to think and live. Why not tell yourself? Why not tell yourself? Why not trust yourself? Why not discover a greater power in you? If you can believe other people, why can't you believe yourself? Why won't you trust the power within you? See, we're bold enough to go outside the scope of knowledge that we were taught by others. And when we talk about the greater power within you as being consciousness, then some people get upset with us. They want the power to be away from you. See, people told you the power is away from you, you are powerless, and you're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to struggle. This is the way life is. No, it's not the way life is. It's the way somebody's created it and interpreted it for you. The truth is nothing but an interpretation in toxicity. But the truth in you, in consciousness, is the truth. This is who you are. What is the truth? You're colorless, faceless, and formless. Whole, perfect, and complete. There isn't anything wrong with you today. Nothing. Now, you may be finding a lot of things wrong with you sometimes. I know I do it myself. And Sister Carolyn has to remind me sometimes. Sometimes I look and say, well, you know, I need to do this. I need to cut this. I need to do this. We do those types of things because that's what we have been accustomed to. That's the mindset. Well, what about a new mindset, a new way to think and live? That's what we're introducing in the 21st century, a new way to think and live. We're going away, we're moving away from generational beliefs. So we're thinking differently about ourselves. So what worked in the 1900s, in the 1800s, in the 1960s and 70s don't work today. It doesn't work today. People are not living the way they used to. You don't even, I remember when they had paid telephone booths. So you go to the airport to get on a plane, I had nothing but telephone booths lined up. People with credit cards going punching them in. That's all gone, folks. Well, so is victimization. Why carry something along that's outdated? It's outdated. Outdated information. Bring it into the real world. Give a new interpretation about the truth about you. What is the new interpretation about the truth about you? That you're whole, perfect, and complete, and that the greater power is within you, and this power is available for you to use the power. But when you move away from the power, you feel powerless. You feel like something is missing in your life, and what is missing in your life is clarity and power that you were born with. And then when you move away from it, you move away to victimization and powerlessness where you're depending on someone else. So don't run away from the greater power within you. Embrace it. Don't be afraid of yourself, folks. You're not bad. All people are wondering about what. People are all in an uproar about what's going to happen now that the election is over. People wonder, well, things are going to be, really terrible, or things are going to be really good. What is going to happen to you? Is what the question is. If you were poor before the election, more than likely you're going to still be poor. And if you were wealthy before the election, and you're going to continue to be wealthy. And if you felt powerless and like a victim before the election, you're still going to feel that way after the election. Unless what? You do something about it. You change what you think of yourself. Change is not something that is given to you. Change is something that you must do in the mind. Everything happens in the mind. And when people are talking about the self, know thyself first. How can you know the self when you have taken on a new awareness of being and hidden the self from you, and then you go and search in books and something else for the self? So, well, who am I? Well, before I was a slave, I was this. Before I was this, I was this. So people say, well, we want to connect ourselves to people coming over on the Mayflower. Or we don't want to be connected to people coming over on a slave ship. Neither one are you. See, it's not who you are. And this greatness that I'm talking about is self-discovery. You must discover this for yourself. You must have direct knowledge about who you are. Not getting it from someone else. Not getting into something that life began the way people told you that it began. It did not. You're in the world in the 21st century, and the power, the greater power of God is in you now. And you don't have to search for God back in the past. The search is now. It's always I am, not I used to be. One day I will be, as the people age, they begin to talk about, well, I used to be. I'm the former mayor. I'm the former governor. Who are you now? Who are you now? People, it's in the moment. The present moment is where life is, folks. This is where you have to live. You're not the way you've been taught to believe. But if you believe it, then it is so. Because you have made it so. You have affirmed your own victimization and powerlessness. And then the search to change became one outside. Well, maybe I can go back in the past and find out what the other people did. And I can carry that mantle into the present. Well, look how it worked out. Go back and read all of the books and see where you are now. And see if it works. See if the information that we embodied from the past is worked in the present. Because if it had, then we wouldn't be concerned about elections. We would have a vision for change. We would understand what it is we want. What is it that you want from others? What is it that you want someone to do for you that you cannot do for yourself? It's something that you believe. And when you realize you can do everything for yourself because you have the power. You have a lot of power in your mind. You can think today and create pain in your life just by thinking. Just by thinking. You can say, this is a terrible day. I turned on something and all the people are talking about how wars are happening and everything. Everything is going to be terrible. I feel badly. And before you can even get out of the bed and begin your day, you are already in a mood, an awareness of being victimized. And you carry this mindset into your interactions with other people. Then you become petty. Now I want to look and see if Brother Malcolm's fingernails are manicured. Because who does he think he is? Who does he think he is that he can talk about this power? Now you can see me here in the 21st century. But now are you asking any of the other people who do they think they are? Or they were when they were talking to you or writing to you for the future. They wrote things down that's been manipulated and brought it into your life. Did you ask who they were? Who is Moses? Just ask yourself, where was Moses in the Garden of Eden? There's no information he was there. And then he can tell you, God told me these things. God kept it a secret from everybody else, but God wanted me to know so that I could tell other people. And it's all right if you want to believe that. If you want to believe that the greater power in you operates the same way that we do in this world, then we have a problem. A major problem. Because no one can talk about the power until you discover it for yourself. Then it has a direct relationship between you and what you think. And no one can give this to you or take it from you. It is yours forever. But if you believe that it's not, then you'll forever be searching in toxicity. Poverty, hunger, victimization, powerlessness, anger, all of the things, pettiness, wealth, are all states of consciousness. It's a state of mind. And you can believe that you feel terrible today because you don't have any money. And you can think that you feel great today because you have a little bit of money. And say, I can go on a trip, I can do some things, I can buy some things. Until you realize you don't really have any money. See, then you have to see, what do I have? Well, you have something more valuable than money. Enlightenism is more valuable than money. Fame. All of the things, education. Enlightenism is more valuable than all of those things. But the value comes from your understanding about the power in you and how to connect to the power and communicate in a different language. You can't communicate in the victim language in Enlightenism. The power in you does not function in human language. As the Austrian philosopher Wittgenstein said, is it a private language? Is a private language something that only you know, and that you need a language that other people can agree to. So you need something to say, here's an alphabet of a language, and A-N-D means and I-F means if. And take them separately, they mean nothing. Now just think about that. Something that simple. Separately, they don't mean anything. And then when you separate yourself from this power that I am talking about, which is Enlightenism, the consciousness within, then hey, you can't define yourself accurately. So you need somebody else to tell you who you are. And you need somebody else to give you value. Revalue yourself with Enlightenism. Revalue yourself with Enlightenism. And here is a book. Great book. Enlightenism. And you can get the book on Amazon. And you want to get the book, read the book about Enlightenism, so that you get some understanding about the background information that I'm sharing with you now. I'm sharing the results of my work with you. See, I'm sharing the results. And the books deal with the process. See, that's the process. That you understand how I got to the point where I could say the greater power of God exists in me as consciousness. How could I? You look at me as a man that's going to say in the United States of America as a black man. So the first thing people are going to think is I don't know anything about spirituality. I don't know anything. First thing people will identify me with, if they see me somewhere, they're going to say I'm a Christian. Just because of how I look. And if someone says I'm not, if I say I'm not, then they say, oh, he's one of sacrilege. He's some kind of atheist, agnostic or something. I cannot be myself. I cannot, what people are saying to me, I cannot have a relationship with God unless I agree to be like everybody else. And if I don't think like everybody else, then I cannot discover this power because I'm an outcast. I become spiritually outcast in the world. And if you read into the books about the people that you heard about were great, that's what they were. Spiritually outcasts. They were not in the temples. They were not all the people following and dealing with all of things. They were working on themselves about a new way to think and live. They were talking about being born again in spirit and truth. They were talking about the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha. They were talking about Vedanta philosophy from the Hindus. And all of the other places. They were talking about the noble principles of Buddha, of Mohammedanism. What Muhammad was talking about. He's talking to you about the end results is what you will hear, not the process. And it's the process, folks, that we're talking about with Enlightenism. So you get to the end results and you can say, I am greater than the I that I created. I am greater than the I that I created because I'm always greater than the person you see. Because the greater power in me gives me the power to overcome my awareness of being the person that I am today. Thank all of you for stopping by. I'm Brother Malcolm. Have a great day. Check out my YouTube channel and check out all of the other places where I am. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple. Spreaker. I'm all over the internet, folks. Check it out. Enlightenism is here. Learn more about it and this great philosophy. Have a great day.